Hi, I'm Lauren Sabri, and I am doing my argumentative video over the media. I think that they are bloodsuckers and instigators, and this is what my video is about. I'm going to use two incidents to support my claim. The first one is Chris Brown and Rihanna. And the second one is the East Coast versus West Coast from the early 90s. Our first incident, it's Chris Brown and Rihanna. They're at the Grammys on February 7th, 2009. They're driving home. Chris Brown gets a text from a lady friend, and Rihanna was like, "Who the heck is that? Who's that broad?" He was like, "Her name is none of your business." Sucker punches her in the left eye and bites her, slams her head against the car door. She gets out alive. Thank you, Jesus. She's fine. She's beat really, really bad. Media finds out. They're on that like a bunch of ants are on an anthill or cake. And it's pretty bad. Radio stations start boycotting his music. They take him out of commercials. He loses his endorsements. You've got teenagers who are heartbroken all over the nation, crying. Who am I going to get married to now? People are really heartbroken and really pissed, and are just like treating the guy pretty bad. I mean, and technically rightfully so. He did beat her to a pulp. So anyways, 9 months later, Rihanna does a interview with ABC in 2020, and the interviewer asks her, do you hate Chris Brown? And she says, no, I love him and I care for him and I just want to wish him the best, and I just wish the best for him in his career. I hope that he learns from the situation and that he just grows up. So why is it the person who is a victim of domestic violence can forgive her perp, but the media can't? People keep on keeping it alive. I don't understand that. Somebody who's been beat to a pulp can forgive the person who's done that to her, yet the media can't move on. The media keeps on keeping it up and keeping it up and keeping it up. Rihanna shouldn't forgive Chris Brown, and Chris Brown has anger problems and needs to go to anger management, and, all this stuff. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. How can the victim forgive the person, but someone who hasn't even been personally victimized by Chris Brown can't? My second incident, here's a little background on it. You've got the West Coast with Tupac and the CEO of Death Row Records. The CEO of Death Row Records is Suge Knight. And then you've got the East Coast with Biggie Smalls and Puffy and Bad Boy Records. So, Source magazine, which is a hip-hop magazine, has an award show, a hip-hop award show, and it is their second one. And Death Row Records wins an award. Suge Knight goes to accept it, and during his acceptance speech, he states, and I quote, "Any artists out there that want to be an artist and that want to stay a star and don't want to have to worry about their producer being all up in their videos, all on their records, dancing, come to Death Row." A lot of people were upset, especially because Death Row is West Coast and they were in New York for the award show. So, of course, there are a lot of East Coast people there. Moments later, Puffy gets on the stage and he states, "Contrary to what other people may feel, I would like to say that I'm very proud of Dr. Dre, Death Row, and Suge Knight for their accomplishments, and all this East and West Coast, that needs to stop." Now, on the newsstands the next day, which story do you think was on there? Puffy trying to unite everyone, or Suge Knight and all his nonsense. Did you say Suge Knight and all his nonsense? Because you're right. You get a gold star on your chart. The media is like Suge Knight, Tupac, Biggie, East versus West, you know, who's gonna rule, who's the best, da 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 da. And nobody really remembers, hey, Puffy's over here trying to put a white flag up, trying to unite us and make us a big, happy hip-hop family. And you're over here just talking about Suge Knight. I honestly believe that the media is actually responsible for the deaths of Tupac and Biggie. I don't know if the media doesn't, you know, realize how much power they have, or if they do realize how much power they have and they just decide to abuse it for their own benefit, you know, by selling newspapers and getting viewers on the shows and, you know, supporters on, well, now Facebook and stuff like that. You know, I feel like they're using it for bad. You have kids over here on the streets killing each other because someone is East and somebody is West. I believe that maybe if they actually tried to support the fact that Puffy was trying to unite them, that maybe Tupac and Biggie would be alive today. That's just how I feel. I feel like the media abuses their power and that they're a bunch of bloodsuckers and instigators. And, I mean, if you're a part of the media, no offense to you, but that's just how I feel. And, yeah, that's my argumentative video. Thanks.